When AI makes your team more productive, but your leadership worse. You're listening to the Emotional Intelligence Developer Podcast. Your team just became more AI productive. The reports look better. The deadlines are being hit. More work is getting done. And your leadership team is impressed. So why does everyone seem more tired? Why are people becoming quieter? Why has creativity disappeared? Why are fewer people challenging decisions? And why does your team look productive on paper while feeling completely different in the room? Because here's something leaders need to understand about the AI era. Productivity isn't the same thing as well-being. And if you're a manager, that distinction could become one of the most important things you learn. AI can help your team work faster. It can automate repetitive tasks. It can analyze information. It can generate drafts. It can reduce the time required to complete certain types of work. That's useful. But there's a dangerous temptation that comes with all of this. Once you discover that AI can help your team do more, the question can quickly become, how much more can they do? And that's where leadership can start going wrong. Because a productivity tool can make the organization faster without making the people inside it healthier. You automate one task, then another, then another. You save an hour here, 2 hours there. So management starts thinking, great, now we can increase output. And suddenly the time that was saved isn't actually given back to the employee. It becomes capacity for more work, more targets, more deadlines, more meetings, more expectations, more monitoring, more pressure. The technology wasn't the problem. The leadership decision was. And this is where emotional intelligence becomes extremely important. Because good leadership isn't simply about getting more from people. It's understanding what happens to people when you continuously ask for more. Think about your own team. Do people feel safe telling you that they're overwhelmed? Can someone disagree with you without worrying about punishment? Can an employee admit they made a mistake without immediately trying to hide it? Can someone say, I don't understand this? Can someone tell you that a deadline is unrealistic? Can your team challenge an idea without being labeled negative? These questions matter because a team that is afraid to speak can look incredibly efficient. Nobody complains. Nobody challenges anything. Nobody asks difficult questions. Everyone just gets on with the work. From the outside, that can look like discipline, but sometimes it's fear. And that's a leadership problem. Psychological safety doesn't mean creating a workplace where everyone gets to do whatever they want. It doesn't mean avoiding accountability. It doesn't mean protecting people from difficult feedback. It means creating an environment where people can speak honestly without unnecessary fear of humiliation, retaliation, or being dismissed. And AI makes this even more important. Because when technology increases the speed of work, leaders can accidentally increase the speed of pressure. Think about what happens when something that used to take 3 hours now takes 30 minutes. The healthy response is, excellent. We've created time. The unhealthy response is, excellent. What else can we fit into those 3 hours? That's the trap. Efficiency can become an excuse for permanently raising expectations. And eventually, people stop experiencing AI as a tool that helps them. They experience it as another mechanism for management to demand more. That's when technology starts damaging trust. So if you're a leader, here's a simple test. Don't only ask, what can AI help my team accomplish? Ask, what does AI allow my team to stop doing? That's a completely different question. If AI saves your team 10 hours a week, perhaps some of that time should actually remain saved. Perhaps it should go toward deeper thinking, learning, recovery, creative work, better customer relationships, strategic planning, or simply having enough breathing room to do important work properly. Because humans aren't machines that become better simply because you increase their output. There is another mistake leaders can make. They can start managing the dashboard instead of managing the people. The numbers look good. The productivity metrics are up. Tasks are being completed. So everything must be fine. No, your dashboard can tell you what happened. It can't necessarily tell you what is happening inside your team. Is someone mentally checked out? Is someone afraid to disagree? Is your best employee quietly looking for another job? Has everyone stopped bringing you new ideas because they believe you won't listen? Is someone working late every night because the new productivity expectations are impossible during normal hours? Those things don't always appear in your metrics. You have to talk to people. And this is where high emotional intelligence separates good managers from technically competent managers. A high EQ manager doesn't just ask, "Did you finish it?" They also ask, "How did that process affect you?" They notice changes in behavior. They listen when someone says, "I'm fine," but clearly isn't. They recognize when silence means agreement and when silence means people have stopped believing it's worth speaking. They understand that accountability and empathy aren't opposites. You can hold someone accountable while still treating them with dignity. You can demand high standards without creating fear. You can use AI aggressively without treating people like machines. That's the leadership challenge of the AI era. And here's the framework I want you to remember. First, measure output. Use the technology. Understand the productivity gains. Know what's improving. But don't stop there. Second, measure pressure. Ask what the increased speed is doing to workloads, expectations, and stress. If output goes up while your people become exhausted, you've created an incomplete success. Third, protect psychological safety. Make disagreement acceptable. Make questions acceptable. Make mistakes discussable. Make it possible for someone to tell you that your strategy isn't working. If everyone always agrees with the boss, you might have a great team, or you might have a frightened one. Fourth, preserve human judgment. Don't automate every decision simply because you can. People need context. Customers need understanding. Employees need conversation. And leaders need judgment. Fifth, use the time AI creates intelligently. Don't automatically convert every efficiency gain into another workload increase. Sometimes the smartest use of saved time is better thinking. Sometimes it's innovation. Sometimes it's training. Sometimes it's recovery. And sometimes it's simply giving people enough space to remain human. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. AI can tell you what your team produced. It can't tell you what your team is becoming. You can have higher output and lower trust, more efficiency and less creativity, faster delivery and worse communication, better numbers and people who are quietly burning out. That's why the future of leadership isn't going to be about choosing between AI and humans. It's going to be about knowing how to lead humans with AI. The best leaders won't be the ones who squeeze every possible unit of productivity out of their employees. They'll be the ones who understand how to use technology without destroying the conditions that allow people to perform at their best. So if you're a manager, don't just ask your team, "What can we accomplish with AI?" Ask them, "What would make this technology genuinely useful to you?" Then listen to the answer. Because the biggest leadership mistake of the AI era may not be failing to adopt artificial intelligence. It may be becoming so obsessed with artificial productivity that you forget the intelligence of the people you're supposed to lead. AI can make your team faster. Your leadership determines whether they become better.